Currently, the availability of scientific and technical information about climate change impacts, the components of vulnerability and potential adaptation options is fragmented and incomplete. The Mediation project addresses this challenge by mapping methods and tools to different problem types based on an analysis of the problem context. This research will use several case studies in different regions of Europe, which combine selected regional, sectoral and cross-sectoral characteristics and policy questions to assess what appropriate tasks, method and tools would be appropriate in each situation. This will produce guidance for different users that can be applied using the common platform. Let us take you briefly through these European case studies. Starting in the southern area of the continent, we look at Spain and at actions that have been taken to adapt to reduced water availability in the Guadiana River basin. This basin is expected to be one of the most negatively affected by climate change in the country. Not far from there, the Guadalquivir River basin is facing similar challenges, including an increased frequency of droughts. Moving east, we have found that in Italy and specifically in Tuscany, wine production may face shortages. The Italian team is looking at adaptation options and strategies for Tuscan viticulture. Remaining in Tuscany, we have also found out that people are feeling the heat of climate change. In this case study, we consider what would be the impact of an increasing number of heat waves on the Tuscan population and tourists. How should the health and civil protection systems be organised in order to cope with these impacts? And whether the tourism strategy should be reconsidered in view of climate change. Going further east, we are analysing the effects of drought and changes in precipitation patterns on small-scale farming in Serbia, specifically in the Velika Morava region of the Danube River basin. Climate change does not only impact the south of Europe, so our next case study takes us to the northwestern part of the continent, as we look at developing and testing an improved methodology for the identification of impact and adaptation thresholds, key risk factors and potential adaptation responses in the Rhine-Meuse Delta of the Netherlands. Going further north, the following two case studies are focused on Scandinavia and Finland. The first examines species adaptation through latitudinal migration, as several grassland species will most likely be facing difficulties in migrating across fragmented landscapes to new climatically suitable areas in the future. The other Northern European case study aims at mapping the vulnerability of the elderly to climate change, considering that the elderly population is growing rapidly and that many individuals are potentially vulnerable to the impacts of heat waves, cold spells, storms and floods within this age group. A further pan-European case study assesses the impacts and adaptation options to forest fires, which may become more prevalent due to the projected decrease in summer precipitation and the increase in the frequency of summer droughts, particularly in southern Europe. We hope you have enjoyed this brief tour of the mediation case studies. Ongoing results from the application of tools and methods in the cases will be available through the common platform, the mediation website and on We Adapt.